You should. Your farm sucks.
I know football. What you did with those boys. You were the right man for the job, Coach.
You're Hall of Fame in my book.
Now, let's analyze what's been working for us. Not a goddamn thing's been working for us. Like this goddamn suit doesn't work for me. And this stinking tie. And this goddamn shirt. It doesn't work for me.
Fucking Roethlisberger, the quarterback, was all fucking hug it, chug it, football. All night.
I'll tell you why you don't have your $10 million yet. 'Cause right now, you are a paycheck player. You play with your head, not your heart. In your personal life, heart. But when you get on the field, it's all about what you didn't get, who's to blame, who underthrew the pass, who's got the contract you don't, who's not giving you your love. You know what? That is not what inspires people.
This is your opportunity
For
here.
you. Playing football at West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime. But I don't want your life.
I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that itch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that itch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face.
I have the golden ticket, Sonny. If I give it to you, you get to save football in Cleveland.
I'll see you in L.A.
No heart.
No heart? I'm all heart, motherfucker!
Welcome to the party. It's an hour later than usual, so please forgive us. It's me, Michael Govier, MJ Govier on Twitter. Pallazzo Podcast.
Utah.
2 L's, 2 Z's.
Give me 2.
It is time to talk Week 9. Week 8's over. Another week in the books. The NFL season's flying by. Blah, blah, blah. All the platitudes, the cliches, everything you've ever heard before. I'm saying now as an introduction to a show, which we are officially doing right now. No Mike Virginia tonight. He's not feeling well. Everybody wish Mike better as he recovers from a terrible illness. Just kidding. He doesn't have a terrible illness. He's got a head cold. He's going to be all right. He'll definitely be back for the playoffs. But will the Ravens be there?
Playoffs?
Yeah, how dare I? How dare I do that, right? Hey, Gove, what's up, EA all day? Look, be just like EA all day. Jump in here, ask a question. We're talking waiver wires. We're talking who do we pick up now? What's your status? Are you on life support? Is it over? Are you on the brink? Is your season done in Week 9? Or is this the crucial, most important time? Week 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 5 good weeks. Give me a playoff berth, right? Sound good to me? Woohoo!
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
We are.
You kidding me? Playoffs?
What do we got here, Chad? Sam Darnold just got the greatest Halloween gift. He did? What is that exactly? He does have a terrible illness. He's got friends with us-itis. Very funny. Chad, you're a funny guy. I like your style. Jump in the live chat. Tell me what you're thinking. Look, Sunday morning, me and Mike Virginia, we were here doing the show. This is the Pallazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's, in case you've never heard of us before.
Utah.
If you're new, we
2.
love newcomers. Newcomers mean everything. But we love our regulars, but newcomers, they're the lifeblood of this show, and they always will be, okay? So, having said that, when me and Mike Virginia did the show on Sunday morning for Week 8 prep, I told them Baltimore might be in trouble, and they did lose outright to Cleveland. Chad, shout out to you. I want to give Chad respect. Chad was hot on that Cleveland stack. Now, it was all about Cedric Tillman, obviously, who scored 2 more touchdowns thanks to famous Jameis, who's a must-add now. Everybody's on famous Jameis, especially if you're in a Superflex. You probably already got picked up in a Superflex last week. But Jameis showed that he could still sling that football around the football field. Doesn't matter if he's a Cleveland Brown or a Florida State Seminole, whatever he is, whatever he was. Right now, he's a quarterback who can play much better football than Deshaun. I am a scumbag of the highest order, Watson.
Go Tigers.
That's right. And just go Tigers for the hell of it. Not LSU, though. They lost. Texas A&M. Sorry, Tigers fans. I bet Ed Orgeron's crying right now.
Go Tigers.
Somewhere out there. EA all day is getting it going here for us here. But, yeah, the Ravens lost. Cleveland won outright. They finally broke their losing streak. And now they're going to be better because they've got a defense that's still pretty decent. And the Ravens are the team that really needs a defense, right? It's great news if you have Ravens on your fantasy team, though, because they're putting up points every week, right? And with the addition today of Deontay Johnson, who was traded from the Carolina Panthers to Baltimore now, that gives Lamar Jackson a lot of weapons. And it makes your fantasy life just that much worse, because who's going to get the ball each week? You know, Derrick Henry will get his carries, and Lamar will run a little bit. He'll throw plenty. But Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, where you been? It's likely that he doesn't score very often. I'm very funny, aren't I?
Great job.
Not sure that was a great job. I apologize. I do apologize. So EAL Day's getting us going here. Here it is. Got offered Jaden Daniels for my Kenneth Walker III. By the way, so Jaden Daniels plays all week long. Whoa, yeah, buddy. Rev up that engine, man. You guys hear that? That's like outside in the road right now. It's so funny. People love their loud cars and motorcycles. I don't necessarily, although a cool car, a cool motorcycle, sweet. I know that. But, where the hell was I? What day is it? Where are we going? But Jaden Daniels plays after the rib being very much a suspect concern that Jaden Daniels wouldn't play against Chicago. And then he throws the Hail Mary miracle to my man. Oh, I love Noah Brown. Shout out Noah Brown. They got a clutch catch on a Hail Mary to win the game for the Commanders. Jaden Daniels also put up points from a fantasy perspective. The rib didn't stop him at all, really, it seems, which was really impressive to me. I was really impressed. I did not expect much from him. I started him in one league because I felt I was desperate because it was a super flex, and Daniels was always going to be a top 2 quarterback on that roster for my super flex team. Man, I was really impressed what Jaden Daniels did, and we've already been impressed. Now I'm even more impressed. The impressiveness never ends. It never ends. It's unreal.
Can't do it.
Yes, you can. You'll do it forever because Jaden Daniels is a fantasy god. And in Dynasty, if you got Jaden Daniels right now, you're so happy. So, back to this question from EA All Day. I got offered Jaden Daniels for my Kenneth Walker. I would do that in a heartbeat. Absolutely do it right now. Don't even question it.
Wow, yeah. Dude.
My current quarterback is Kyler Murray. Great win for the Cardinals. I told you all that the Dolphins and Tua, with his return to the field last weekend, might focus more on the run game, which they tried to do, but they didn't do it enough. Even though Raheem Mostert did have a couple of touchdowns, didn't he? Or was it just one? But he did score. Also, Devon Achane had 2 tutties, or at least he had 1 receiving, and he had over 125 yards total from scrimmage, which was badass because that Arizona defense still stinks. But they won, and Kyler Murray was solid, and he spread the ball around, and I told everybody on Sunday, Miami's pass D is a real deal. And then Kyler Murray shoved it up my ass. He said, dude, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah, so I learned a harsh lesson about never questioning Kyler Murray or the Cardinals' ability to throw the ball. But I don't care who else you got on this roster, EA. This is 10-team half PPR. I would totally do this. I would totally take Jaden Daniels. He's a badass. And you got all these other running backs. You got JT. You got Jordan Mason, who's not as valuable. D. Montgomery, the Lions. What was I thinking? What was I thinking when I did? Why did I pick the under in the Lions-Tennessee game? I really thought that the Lions might just slow it down a bit. But this team, I know how good they are. They're the best team in the NFL, and I keep saying it. So why would I think for a second that Tennessee could limit them? Because I trusted Tennessee's defense for a split second, and I made a bad choice. So that under was gone by halftime when it was 35-14. My Bozo Lions. Wow, that was awesome.
That's exactly where you want to be right now, all right?
Thanks, Coach Campbell. Yes, grit. It's good shit. So I would do this. He says he's leaning no. I think I'd do it with K. Walker III or so injury prone, says Chad. You can get by with Kamara, Taylor, and Montgomery, and you could trade Murray for a Swift or a Chuba level guy. See? I completely agree. This is a trade you should absolutely do, my friend. Do it. Do it now. Come on. What are you waiting for? Harsh P. What's up, Harsh P? Are you a newcomer? Because I don't recognize your username. And I love meeting new people, and that's why the show's awesome. The newcomer is the lifeblood of the Pallazzo podcast. 2 L's.
Utah.
2 Z's.
Give me 2.
So, Harsh P, make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends. We're on a quest to 1,000 YouTube subscribers in case you've never heard that from us before, ever. Okay? Can I trade McConkey for Chubb? I feel like I'm giving up a league winner. Why would you want to do that? Is this PPR? Is it not PPR? You got to talk to me, Harsh P. I need to know more information. Because straight up on paper right here, I don't think I would do that. But Conkey, when healthy, has developed with Herbert this season, and he is the real deal. He's a great route runner, and he makes plays. So I love McConkey, and I'd rather have him than Chubb, and I'm locking that in. There you go. Chad says, Justice Hill is now worthless. Oh, that's rude. Why would you say that? Chad also updating that the Vikings traded for the Jaguars offensive tackle Cam Robinson to replace the injured Darisaw. That's right. That's a good move. I like that. Vikings think they can compete with the Lions in the NFC North, but they cannot. They cannot. I'm sorry, Vikings fans. You got no shot at this division. This is the Lions division all day long, and we're already got a game on you. So sit down, right?
Great job.
That's funny. It's time for you to sit on ass, Vikings fans. There's too many cooks in the NFC North anyway.
Too many cooks.
So many good teams. The Packers with Jordan Love looks like Malik Willis is a god. He's been revived and basically turned into a new quarterback thanks to Matt LaFleur, it seems. It's incredible what Malik Willis was able to do. Crucial plays, comes in, wins the game for the Packers on the road in a tough game against the Jaguars on the road. Malik Willis got it done. Jordan Love hurts his groin, and Malik Willis was there when they needed him most. And Packers fans rejoice. Yes, it's Lions-Packers this coming Sunday, 4:25 Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be a doozy. I'll be in Arizona, so it'll be, I think, 2:25, because they don't do daylight savings time. Did you know this? Arizona does not honor daylight savings time. So when we go back an hour, they stay where they are, but it moves to mountain time. And when it's spring forward, they're 3 hours back from the East Coast. You understand how that works, kids?
Good at what? Sitting on ass?
I'm good at sitting on ass. That's true. Okay, you guys are really racking them up here. Chad says, Deontay destroys what little desperation flex value Justice Hill had. Fair enough. Chad says, no, you can't do that trade. So I guess we agree on that, Chad. Ewe2K, what's up, buddy? Better add this week Stafford or Winston, or do I bench Baker for either one? Look, Stafford and Jameis coming off big wins, big victories. Remember, the Stafford win was the Thursday night game where he threw 4 touchdowns against those Vikings. And now he's got his toys back. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, they're in the house. Kyren Williams. Those 4 guys, Stafford, Nacua, Kupp, and Kyren Williams. That is one of the best offenses in football with just those 4 guys right then and there. You know what I mean?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
No, I don't believe that. It makes sense, doesn't it? But to me, Stafford and the Rams this week, they're at Seattle. I'm not afraid of Seattle. The Rams could take it to the Seahawks. Or you can go with Jameis, who's got the Chargers this week at home. Oh, the Chargers, huh? Man, that's tough. Because the Chargers defense is real deal. It's not just the Jim Harbaugh effect, you know what I mean? There's legit talent on that defense. And in the scheme and the design of how Jim Harbaugh wants to play game to game, this defense is going to be there all season long. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks calling 911 this year when they take on the Chargers defense.
Call 911!
Yeah, that's right. You know what I mean?
Go Chargers, go.
Go Chargers, go. So this week, is it Jameis Winston or is it Matthew Stafford? The easier matchup to me is Matthew Stafford against Seattle on the road. So I would go that route just because the Chargers are a tougher team to face defensively. And that's pretty much the only difference I'm going with there for this week only. And the Chiefs are hosting the Bucs on Monday Night Football. So Baker's going to Kansas City. Going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. That's an old song. But what's kind of getting old and played out is the Bucs and them trying to be legit because they're not. But they're going on the road to face a Kansas City D, which is also tough. Kansas City D against the run, unstoppable. They dominated Alexander Madison on Sunday and the Raiders, even though the Raiders technically covered, but that D shut down Madison. Did you see Alexander Madison's stat line? He had like 14 rushes for 16 yards or something. It was so dumb, so stupid. So, having said that, Baker can throw it a lot, and Tampa Bay's offense is all about throwing it. They just throw, even without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Meaning that I could see Baker throwing it a lot against the Chiefs to try to pull off an upset road victory on Monday Night Football. So I don't know if I'm ready to bench Baker for Stafford or Winston. Right now in this lineup, these 3 guys, for these matchups in Week 9 in the NFL, I would go Stafford, Baker, Winston. That's how I rank those three. So make your choice. But Jameis is for real, and Cleveland just needed a competent quarterback, which Jameis is. Now, he's a turnover machine. He's going to turn it over more. And in fact, I'd be worried about turnovers against that Chargers defense this weekend. But Jameis is an upgrade, and he makes Cedric Tillman, Jerry Jeudy a little bit. Still not a fan of Jeudy. I love Elijah Moore. Had 8 grabs from Jameis. It was so great to see in PPR Elijah Moore doing something for once. Someone getting him the damn ball for once, too. You know what I mean? Jeez. All right. This looks like a newcomer. Slime Material 06. Silm? No, I got that right. Like, is this like Slimer? Or is this a Double Dare reference? I need to know. It's got to be one of the two, right? I know I'm right. Chat, is Hopkins and Bucky for Olave a good trade? Oh, he's asking the chat. I'm not allowed to answer. I can't participate. I mean, I'm on the show. Can I play? I want you to subscribe right now, Slime Material 06. I'm going to answer your question, and I want you to like this video and share it with your friends and family and tell them how awesome the Pallazzo podcast is, because there's nothing like
Utah.
2 L's, 2 Z's.
Give me 2.
We do it best. Hopkins and Bucky for Olave as a good trade. I have Rashad White and Achane as running backs. A.J. Brown and D-Hop as my receivers. So Hopkins and Bucky Irving for Olave. If you're getting Olave, I love it. Lock it in. Because Olave is still going to get a lot of reps, and the Saints are going to be behind a lot this season. That's a lot of passing. It's good news for Olave. Derek Carr is going to be coming back here. The Spencer Rattler nightmare is basically over, which is, I really thought he'd be better than he was. I know he's a rookie. Spencer Rattler coming straight out of C-Care. That's how I do it. South Carolina, the Gamecocks. Rattler was straight out of South Carolina as a rookie, and he stunk. But I thought he'd be a little bit better. Dennis Allen sucks as a coach. He should be fired, and he will be fired soon. New Orleans will move on. And that's not even something you need to lock in, because we all know that, right? As much as Stafford is on the downswing, says Chad, that matchup is too good. And yes, I'd bench Baker versus the Chiefs for him. Okay, that's fair. Jamie, what's up, buddy? Make sure you guys follow Out of Rhythm Sports, the YouTube channel. Best graphics in the business, Out of Rhythm Sports. Do it right now. Do it. What are you waiting for? Jamie wants to know, should I pick up Levon Moss or Rasul Falson? Oh, here we go. He's throwing in his college stuff. If you love college, definitely check out Jamie's Out of Rhythm Sports channel. Chad says that the trade we brought up from Slime Material, it's a risky trade, but it's a good one, and Carr is supposed to be back this week. I think we're on the same page once again, which does concern me when we're all on the same page. Me and Mike Virginia were on the same page a lot on Sunday. And by the way, Mike Virginia beat me in our big showdown, the Pallazzo Podcast Invitational. Chad says, off topic, but Jesus, Freddie just hit another gosh darn home run. Wow, dude.
Wow, dude.
Freddie Freeman is in the zone. It's pretty sweet. Oh, Carlos is here. What's up, Carlos? How you been? Thanks for being here and asking questions. Make sure you subscribe and like. I think you subscribed a few weeks ago, so I don't have to worry about you, Carlos. You're off the hook. I'm back, he says. CJ Stroud is not doing it. Do I consider another quarterback rest of the season? Wow, what a statement, huh? All the hype on CJ Stroud and that offense in Houston, maybe going to the Super Bowl this year? Maybe we got a little ahead of ourselves, folks. But should he go with somebody else? Geno, Stafford, Goff, Winston, Herbert, Caleb are all on waivers for rest of season, or do I just sit? Me and Mike Virginia on Sunday, we argued about keeping a reserve quarterback on your bench instead of just going with one. I always like to have one bench quarterback just in case, even in non-superflex leagues. I just want to have him there. Unless it's a really small roster, very small 8-10 team league, then you could probably just pick one up. But that's usually not how I like to operate, and I also don't really play in 10-team leagues either. But I would pick up Stafford. I definitely pick up Goff. I know, look what Goff does. He hardly throws the ball in a dominant win over Tennessee, but he still had 3 touchdowns, right? That's good. That's good news. The Lions score a lot of points, and Goff is the leader of that offense, so you want to be there.
That's exactly where you want to be right now, all right?
Thanks, Dan. He also mentions Caleb or Herbert. Herbert's interesting. Obviously, Herbert seems to be feeling a little better. Maybe he's a little more healthy with that fasciitis issue he had with his foot. Then again, it could just be that Harbaugh's more comfortable with letting it rip in that San Diego offense. Yes, I know they're in L.A., but that's how I feel about that. I wouldn't bail on Stroud just yet, but I definitely would like to add Goff, Stafford, or maybe Geno. Because the Geno and the Seahawks, they're throwing a lot. They need to throw a lot, even though they have Kenneth Walker III and Charbonnet. Winston is a guy that I need to see more to trust him, especially on a list of these names. Winston is a lower priority add because you have much better options to choose from. You know what I mean? Okay, good. Chad says, EW2K, can you sustain 2 to 4 weeks without Evans? Yeah, that's a good question. Mike Evans, missing him. I'm missing you. Mike Evans, where did you go? Ooh. There's a lot of songs about missing you or wishing you were here. A lot of songs with that title. Google it. EW2K says, trade away Jackson, Smith, and Jigba for Mike Evans or JSN plus Taysom for Evans. I think JSN straight for Evans is more than enough because Evans is hurt right now, and you're going to have to wait until he comes back. And JSN, especially with Metcalf out, he was getting more targets, and he's going to be a crucial part of this offense in Seattle the rest of the season. I'm not giving up on JSN this year. I know it hasn't been pretty. He has 1 touchdown on the year, but I ain't done. So I would try to just do that straight because you don't need to add Taysom, in my opinion. But if that's what you want to do, it's your show, buddy, right? Your team is your show. This is our show, the Pallazzo Podcast.
Utah.
2 L's, 2 Z's.
Give me 2.
Thanks for being here in the live chat. We jumped on an hour late. We're usually on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then we do Sunday mornings at 11:15 a.m. before NFL kickoff at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Sundays in the morning and Tuesdays in the evening. It's that simple. Love having you guys here. Thanks so much for doing it. Hey, my co-host, my fantasy baseball pal, Britton Allen, who... You and I, Britton, we're going to be on the air live this Friday, November 1st, a new month, a new day, a new live Pallazzo in person at First Pitch, Arizona, which is an event, an annual fantasy baseball conference takes place in Mesa, Arizona every year, run by Baseball HQ. Shout out to Brent and Ray. They put it together. They're awesome. And they're graciously allowing us to do another show this year after last year's wild show. So we're very excited about it. Me and Britton and Sam Wershing, who I'll be seeing Sam in about 24 hours or so when I fly out to Arizona tomorrow. Yes. Anyways, Britton, what's your question, buddy? 12-team PPR Dynasty League? I have Cedric Tillman, but to activate him, I have to drop one of these guys. Slayton, Davis, Dotson, or Lazard. See you in Arizona, Gove! Yes. Lock that man in. Britton, I love you, dude. Can't wait to see you in person. Very excited for us to do our show together. Live! By the way, there is a live stream of it, so if you can't come to Arizona Friday, you can still watch us live. And I will redirect that link. It's the Baseball HQ YouTube, I would assume. But if you follow us on Twitter, MJ Govier, follow Mike Virginia at _Mike VA. And we'll have the link. We'll be tweeting it out Friday, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live. I can't wait. For me, though, on this question, again, you have Cedric Tillman. You want to get him in your lineup. We all do. And in Dynasty, that's a great guy to have. Tillman's coming alive here. Clearly, Jameis likes something in Tillman. Probably because he catches the ball. It's a safe bet, right? Lame jokes are free, folks. They're included in this package. But I would drop Dotson. Oh, yeah. Slayton, Gabe Davis, Dotson, or Lazard. Lazard didn't play. He's injured. So maybe Lazard is a guy who's strictly dependent on Aaron Rodgers only. And he's got this chest issue. Even though Lazard has scored 5 touchdowns this year, in Dynasty, I think I could move on from Lazard. This is Lazard's last stand. I guarantee you, there will not be another season of NFL football where Allen Lazard is a legitimate fantasy option. This is the last year it ever happens. Lock it in. Once more. Yeah, book it. So I'd drop Lazard or Slayton maybe. I want to keep Gabe Davis and Dotson. Since it is Dynasty, that part does matter. Otherwise, Dotson in redraft just not... It's not that important, right? Is he? Okay, keep the questions coming here in the live chat. Oh, Tyler is here. What's up, Tyler? Please subscribe. I'm going to answer your question. All we ask is that you subscribe to our YouTube on the quest to 1,000 subs. Mwah! Thank you. Would you start Tank Dell over Josh Downs and Coleman? Dell plays Sauce Gardner. Yeah, this is a Thursday night game, so we're looking at a quick turnaround. It's Jets-Texans. And now Tank Dell is like all Stroud has. Stephon Diggs got hurt. He's probably out this week. Nico Collins been on the IR. Texans need wide receivers, and Tank Dell is going to be very important. So I would, even though the matchup may freak you out, New England was able to move the ball, and the Jets defense just isn't what it was in the past. I'm not afraid. Tank Dell, I'm starting him, although I do like Coleman. He scored a touchdown. Got the game ball, a touchdown from Josh Allen. I know my man Mike Virginia was thrilled about that because he's a Keon Coleman diehard, and he's not been ready to give up on him. So kudos to Mike for calling that out. And then he looks very prescient right now because he actually recommended Keon Coleman for tonight's show on Sunday. That was 48 hours ago. Pretty impressive, right? Pallazzo Podcast.
Utah.
Game to please.
Give me 2.
So I would definitely start Dell over Downs and Coleman, but I rank them as Dell, Coleman, Downs. The Colts have the Vikings on Sunday Night Football, and Anthony Richardson's a disaster. It's amazing that Downs had any points at all. Anthony Richardson was 2 for 15 at halftime in the loss to the Texans this past Sunday. 2 for 15? Did that really happen? Oh, my God. I've eaten so much shit on Anthony Richardson this year. It's such a bummer. Tyler also. Oh, Tyler, that's a good point. Yes, I would bench Dell. Because of what EA said? EA says, here we go. Sit one this week. Jaden Reed, Waddle, Tank Dell, JSN. You guys are all over the place in the chat here, so I would say Jaden Reed, Waddle, Dell, JSN. At this point, I might be benching Waddle, though Jaden Reed is going to probably have Malik Willis as his quarterback, but Malik Willis has shown that he can ball now, and the Lions' defense against the pass is vulnerable. They lost Aiden Hutchinson. That's hurt their pass rush. I think I'd bench Waddle of these guys. That's how I feel. Waddle, Jaden Reed, Tank Dell, and JSN. How the mighty have fallen. The Miami offense cannot be trusted. And Tyler says, would you start? Oh, we already did that one. Jamie says, MJ, you and I are in 1-2 in the Out of Rhythm Invitational. Calvin Austin seems to be underrated talent. Calvin Austin makes plays, but he doesn't get enough volume to make him a consistent fantasy starter. You know what I mean? Wow. But yeah, you and I are, Jamie runs the Out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports Fantasy Football League. Him and I are in first and second place. Throwing it down. I lost to Mike Virginia, but I won last week in that league to be first place in Jamie's league. Nobody cares what place I'm in. It's all about you guys, so let's get back to your questions. Benjamin. Hello, Benjamin. Please subscribe to our YouTube. We'd love to have you here as a regular. We do it all. All baseball. Even betting. The Patreon starts at $3. I got your betting angles on college and the NFL. Player props. I smell those player props. Should I prioritize picking up Cade Otton or McConkey? I have Bowers, but I'm worried I won't have a good tight end next week. Well, Bowers is a god. I love Bowers so much. I know you do too. We all do. Bowers is a guy that's just so damn talented. But he's got Cincinnati. The Raiders are at the Bengals this week. Then it's the bye week. So next week, you don't want to be left without a tight end. And you're thinking, hey, I should pick up Cade Otton. That's a great idea. Cade Otton is going to be important to this team for the short term because the Bucs need their veteran tight end to lean on a bit more. Although I will tell you, Tampa Bay, I couldn't believe it. Raheem Jarrett. Nobody knows who Raheem Jarrett is. I bet Chad does. Very few people in this chat. You'll know who Raheem Jarrett is if you watch college football. Played at Maryland, transferred to LSU, I believe. Or was it the other way around? Anyways, I think I'm mixing him up with Stephon Diggs. The Maryland University pipeline of wide receivers. Stephon Diggs played there. Raheem Jarrett played there. And Raheem Jarrett has a lot of talent, but he hasn't done jack squat in 2 seasons with the team. But he caught 3 balls for 58 yards against the Falcons in the Bucs' tough luck loss this past Sunday. Raheem Jarrett can ball. And now that he's on the field because of this desperate need for the Bucs to have some speed and athleticism in their wide receiving core, Raheem Jarrett is a deep sleeper, interesting wide receiver ad in the short term for the Bucs. He's got a ton of talent, okay? So I'm just throwing that out there while I'm thinking about Cade Otton and the Bucs offense, who, again, are taking on the Chiefs on Monday Night Football in KC at Arrowhead Stadium. Going to be a doozy. But I would rather have McConkey over Otton. But if you need a tight end for next week, you're worried about it, then I don't blame you for wanting to add Otton first. But McConkey, he's ranked higher. I'd rather have McConkey over Otton in a vacuum anytime, any place. That's how I feel about that, okay? There's always tight ends. Tight end is a position you can stream week to week. You don't necessarily need to double down and take somebody at tight end when you already have Bowers, who's as good as they come, especially if you can add a wide receiver like McConkey, who's only getting better this year. He will only continue to get better. He's a rookie. He's figuring it out. Justin Herbert is throwing the ball better. The Chargers are trusting their pass offense more. It just all aligns. It all aligns, does it not? Gucci Rooster! Yeah, gonna lose another rooster! Oh, yeah! Oh, my God! Who is this host? He's so annoying. Full PPR. Josh Downs or Cortland Sutton? Start sit. So, the Broncos are taking on the Ravens. And I think I saw the line last night when I listened to Guess the Lines on Bill Simmons' podcast. Shout out to Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal. I've listened to those guys for many, many years. And, they're getting older. They're slipping probably a little bit. They're probably not as good as they were 10 years ago, but I still love listening to their show every week. So I love Guess the Lines. And I love guessing the lines on football. Betting lines and guessing what they are is just a timeless tradition that never gets old. But on that show, they were saying that the Ravens are heavy favorites after the Broncos just keep winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. And the Ravens have shown they cannot stop anybody outside of that weird Bills game where they rolled the Bills, only give up 10 points, I think, which, based on how Buffalo's played in all their other games, that was an anomaly for sure. But I think I'm going to go Sutton here because Bo Nix is starting to figure it out, and looks like Sean Payton is the master. A lot of people question him taking Bo Nix 12th overall in the first round of the NFL draft this past year. Hey, what are you doing? You're old, man. Sean Payton, you don't know shit anymore. Well, he's having the last laugh, as they say, right? So I'm going with Sutton here. Josh Downs has to rely on Anthony Richardson at the moment. I still feel like Joe Flacco maybe usurps this job because Shane Steichen knows who butters his bread, and it's not Anthony Richardson right now. Can you say sunk cost? Ooh. Yeah. Anyway, I'll go Sutton, and I feel pretty good about it. Downs doesn't quite have the volume, a little more inconsistent. Diggs is done for the season, MJ. They're going to trade for a guy. Oh, shit, he's done for the year? Oh, Jesus. No! Oh, that is bad news. See ya, Diggs. Yep. Done for the season. Knee injury. There it is. That's really sad. I'm going to take a moment here. Oh, man.
Wow, dude.
That's harsh. Poor Stephon Diggs. Well, now the Texans are in a real bind here, and they need... Who are they going to rely on? Xavier Hutchinson? John Mechie III? In their wide receiving core? This is a crisis. This is a serious crisis. We look at the depth chart for the Houston Texans in their wide receiver room. This is bad. It can't be good, right? It's got to be bad. Yeah, it feels bad. It is bad. Let's go to the highlights. Okay, so here is current depth chart for Houston. Yeah, Xavier Hutchinson, like I said. There's John Mechie III. Boy, Robert Woods, old man time, Robert Woods. I wonder if they'll go more to 2 tight end set. I haven't seen Uncle Ted in a minute, who was hyping up Cade Stover in the preseason. Uncle Ted, you love Cade Stover. You were looking forward to a breakout rookie year. Maybe this is the time for that to happen now, Uncle Ted. But Houston needs a wide receiver in the worst way. I know Stroud is good, but I can't see him making Xavier Hutchinson and John Mechie III legitimate weapons, although I think they have some talent to offer, right? So, man, that's tough. Very tough. So, remember this. Thursday night, quick turnaround. There's no way Houston can sign anybody. So, taking on the Jets on the road, right? That game's on the road. Jets-Texans, Thursday Night Football. The Jets, their season's on the line. All signs point to the Jets winning this one. But Joe Mixon can run the football. Yeah. And New York Jets are not a defense I fear from a run perspective. Ramondre Stevenson, he had 2 touchdowns Sunday in the big win for the Pats, who are no longer soft, as Gerard Mayo said. It's funny, when a team gets called out as being soft by a rookie head coach, that backfires a lot. But didn't backfire in this case. And now the Patriots are talking playoffs?
Playoffs?
No, I don't think so. But they won a game. Point being is that the Jets stink. The run defense is not something I fear, and Joe Mixon should have a field day. And I expect the Texans will go heavy run against the Jets, setting up play action for Stroud with limited pass opportunities to Tank Dell and then anybody else who can catch the ball. Again, this should be good news for Dalton Schultz, too. Tight end for the Texans. Maybe it's the guy you want to target, because just like Cade Otton has gotten more volume due to the wide receiver injuries for Tampa Bay, Dalton Schultz is in a very similar position for Houston now to gobble up targets. Might be somebody you want to try to take a look at and acquire in a deal. Hey, Brian's here. What's up, Brian? My main man. Stofers make a heck of a lasagna. Oh, shit, man. That's funny. I apologize. Well, it was a good joke. I love this. I mean, we've never had a Stofers joke. I don't believe we've ever had a Stofers joke on this show. Although I do believe Stofers is spelled Stouffers. If we're talking the frozen Food Brands. I believe that's correct. But Brian, we're not here to haggle and get all analytical over the difference between two Stofers, a Stover and a Stouffer. But look, the Steelers and the 49ers are on buys this week for week 9. So we got 2 teams on a bye, 30 teams in action. We got 8 games at 1 o'clock, 4 games on the 4 o'clock window Sunday. It's going to be a great weekend of football once more. And you right now are in crisis territory. Am I right? If we take a look where I'm at, we like to use the Pallazzo Podcast Invitational football version here, which is on Yahoo. That's right. We do football on Yahoo. We love it. I lost to Mike Virginia. There it is. The final score. He kind of took it to me. 155 to 126. Dominant. He had Jalen Hurts. What, he had 4 combined touchdowns? Oh, that really stunk. By the way, the Eagles, they're looking legit now. Like they're back on track. And the offense has gone back to how Jalen Hurts prefers to run it, which is what you want to do. You want to play to your player's strengths, right? So if you know you have a certain type of quarterback, play to his strengths. You got Saquon Barkley on the team now, but let Jalen Hurts do his thing. And him scoring rushing touchdowns is Jalen Hurts' thing, no doubt about it. So Mike crushed me with Jalen Hurts, and even Calvin Ridley had 143 yards on 10 catches. Thank you, Garbage Time. Thank Garbage Time for that one. Derrick Henry, Connor were solid. He had Njoku, scored a touchdown. Njoku's going to be great rest of the year. Man, I wish I had some more of him. And, yeah, that's how he got me. I had solid performance. Trevor Lawrence threw for 300 yards, even though they lost. So I played him over Jaden Daniels in this matchup, and that did work out. He technically outscored Daniels by about 3 points in our league scoring setting. So I do not regret what I did there. But Drake London didn't do much, and Kenneth Walker didn't do jack squat. But, man, James Cook was awesome. Thank you for that. And I had Brock Bowers, who I really thought would score a touchdown this week, but did not. So there you go. Tough break in that one. But if you're 5-3 right now, you're very happy. I'm 5-3. I'm going to make the playoffs unless I collapse. But in other leagues where I'm in big trouble right now, it seems like all my leagues on Sleeper are slipping. And I'm looking further and further away from that playoff mirage in front of me. I'm out in the desert all by myself, and it looks like there's the playoffs in front of me, but it's just a mirage. Oh, man. I really wanted the playoffs.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively.
That was some of my fantasy teams this past weekend. We could not do diddly poo offensively. Iwi2K says, would you trade JSN, Taysom, and McMillan for Evans and Debo? So you want to trade, now you want to add McMillan to this and go for an Evans-Debo combo? I don't know. Nobody would buy that. I don't think anybody would take that. I don't. I assume you're on the JSN side. There's no way he's giving up Evans and Debo. He's just not. Or she's not. Whoever you're trading with, I just don't see that happening. But if you can make it happen, then please do, because you're giving up JSN, Taysom Hill, and McMillan for Evans and Debo. Debo. Hey, Debo. I don't see this trade going through. If you pull a trade off, somehow you get Evans and Debo for those 3 guys, then you are a god, sir, and I will owe you an apology. I apologize. Or I will apologize to whoever else is in this situation, because, you're playing to win the games, and you're trying to make trades that will save your season or lock in a guaranteed playoff victory, which means money and championships.
You play to win the game.
That's right. Thanks, Herm. So that's how I feel about that. Otherwise, from a waiver wire perspective, this is a waiver wire show, so let me throw out we talked about quarterbacks already. I think you guys should, if you're playing in Superflex leagues, definitely pick up Joe Flacco if somebody dropped him again. He's going to be relevant here for Indianapolis. I just know it. Aaron Rodgers also a ticking time bomb, so if you're thinking Tyrod Taylor, again, these are Superflex leagues only. Consider the source. Think about it. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it on the quarterback front. As far as all the other parts, flex plays, wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends. Josh Downs is 47% rostered on Yahoo. Keon Coleman, 42% rostered. I would pick him up for sure. And Dalton Schultz, as I mentioned, he's actually got a lot of free agent wire potential still. Only 62% of Yahoo rosters for Dalton Schultz. Yeah. The Jaguars got some issues here. Christian Kirk, toast, right? Bad news for Christian Kirk. I mean, I don't know if he's in Stephon Diggs territory, but he's done for this year because his collarbone is screwed. So Christian Kirk is toast. Who steps in? Gabe Davis, are you going to trust him? What about our guy, Brian Thomas Jr., who we all love? Well, the problem is Brian Thomas Jr. has got some rib issue going on there. So you got Brian Thomas Jr. uncertain. You got Kirk, who's done, right? And then you got Gabe Davis, who is the enigma among all enigmas when it comes to fantasy football. And he also has an injury, but he should be able to play. It's a shoulder issue, right? But all this to say, there's a guy named Parker Washington, okay? He's been on the depth chart for the Jaguars for a couple seasons. Last year when Christian Kirk went out, Parker Washington stepped in and was pretty solid. So I'm going to recommend Parker Washington if you need a wide receiver ad in 12-teamers and deeper, okay? It's all about playing time, and right now it looks like Parker Washington is going to get more playing time because he's going to be needed because the Jaguars don't have squat at wide receiver. It's a difficult time. And the Jaguars are taking on the Eagles in Philly, which I don't fear the Eagles' defense. Their offense is back on track, but the Eagles' defense still has work to do. And, of course, Cedric Tillman's great, but I love Elijah Moore just as much, okay? Don't forget about Elijah Moore. He's a veteran with more experience, and if Jameson can keep getting him the ball, he had 8 catches in that win over Baltimore. I love me some Elijah Moore. I'm a big fan. I'm a proponent, and if seeing is believing, then we're probably going to assume that a lot of guys are better than they really are. I mean, that's what this is all about, right? I mean, if I'm John Madden, I'd like to be silly. You know what I mean? Let me give you a couple. Oh, wait a minute. What the fuck? What the hell? What just happened here? How does this happen? I don't understand. Oh, God. Yahoo screwing me here. Sorry, guys. Doesn't that suck when Yahoo screws around? Really bothers me. Chaps my ass, I'll tell you that much. Okay, here we go. So now I can share the screen with you in 3, 2, 1. A couple guys we should look at right quick. And then I'm out of here. Pallazzo Podcast 2 L's, 2
Utah.
Z's.
Give me 2.
All right, so these are guys that are available in the Pallazzo Podcast Invitational, and your scoring may vary. Josh Downs, again, he should be added. Calvin Austin, he's a guy who makes plays here and there, but he doesn't get enough volume. I think Calvin Austin's a fraud, in my opinion. Keon Coleman, I'm all about it. Me and Mike Virginia love Coleman. Jalen Coker, this is an interesting name. Now, Deontay Johnson was traded to the Ravens, so now Carolina and Jalen Coker, who got 6 targets in the Denver loss. And by the way, Bryce Young was not god-awful. That was kind of an interesting development against one of the best pass defenses in football, the Denver Broncos. He was able to do okay, and Jalen Coker was a part of that. So I would absolutely be picking up Coker. I know it's the bye week's coming up in week 11, right? So the Panthers have 2 more games before they hit the bye, and Carolina sucks, and they're always going to be throwing a lot because they'll be losing. So they got New Orleans this week and the Giants next week, both at home. Man, Jalen Coker, I think he's a guy you definitely want to add if you're looking for wide receiver replacements. I'm a huge Noah Brown fan. He caught the game-winning Hail Mary touchdown for Washington against the Bears. Da Bears. Again, though, this is about volume. It was 6 targets for Noah Brown, which is the second most targets he's had this season. He had 8 targets in week 6 against Baltimore. I need more consistency, and I'm not sure you're going to get that from Brown, but I'm a big fan of Brown. He's the kind of guy who knows how to get open in this league. And his biggest problem, his number one issue for Noah Brown has been injuries. He just can't seem to stay healthy enough. That's a big issue with him, right? And don't forget, Jameson Williams is still suspended for the Lions, so Khalif Raymond has limited potential right now just for 1 week. But after the Packers game, he's no longer relevant unless there's an injury. The rest of these guys, DJ Turner, kind of a fluke. The Raiders going to have to throw to win a lot. They're going to be behind. Jacoby Myers finally came back this week, so that was nice. But DJ Turner is not a guy that you can just trust every week again. Now, Nick Westbrook-Akeen, he's got back-to-back weeks with touchdowns, and clearly his current quarterback, that, what's that guy's name? Nobody knows because no one cares. Has there ever been a quarterback who's been less memorable? Yeah, that's probably the word, than Mason Rudolph, right? Man, Mason Rudolph stinks. But he likes Nick Westbrook-Akeen, so that matters, okay? And he's thrown touchdowns to him in 2 straight weeks. So I think Westbrook-Akeen's he's a speculative ad right now. The Titans will be taking on the Patriots this weekend at home. That's a god-awful game. But Westbrook-Akeen could be useful, okay? So think about that. Remember that. Miles Sanders showed a little bit of life in a garbage time game against Denver, but not enough for me to add him. And yeah, the beat goes on. All these other guys. Van Jefferson, I don't care about him. And I used to love Van Jefferson, but I went to rehab. I went to Van Jefferson rehab, and now I'm cured, so I'll be okay. Josh Palmer's only 14% of leagues. And again, Raheem Jarrett, this is the guy I was talking about. Look, he hadn't played all season, but then he shows up and he has 3 catches on 3 targets for 58 yards. This guy was uber talented. He was like a 5-star stud prospect in college. Just hasn't done jack squat in college football or since he left college football in the NFL. But the Bucs have a need. They do. They have a need and a use for Raheem Jarrett. So it's definitely a guy to take a look at. Okay? There you go. This is a productive show, I feel like. Week 9. Only got 2 buys, remember. We got 30 teams in action. Should be a lot of fun. Please follow us everywhere.
Utah.
Pallazzo Podcast. 2 L's, 2 Z's. We'll be live Friday night for our very special First Pitch Arizona live show in Mesa, Arizona. Can't wait for that. That's a baseball-focused thing. It's going to be fun as hell, though. God, we're very excited for all of that. And, yeah, quest to 1,000 subs. Please subscribe to the YouTube, share with your friends. Thanks for being here. Live chat, you guys crushed it. We have over 100 people watching tonight, which is always nice to crack the 100, the century mark. Mike Virginia, feel better. Follow him at _Mike VA. Follow everybody in the Pallazzo Galaxy. Britton Allen, who was here tonight. 2 T's, 2 L's.
Utah.
Robbie Baseball, my main man. Robbie Baseball on Twitter. Of course, Big Gentle Ben. Benjamin Chase. So we're going to be back on the baseball side probably in the next week or 2 when I get back from First Pitch Arizona, because I'll be out in Arizona looking at prospects. That's right. Arizona Fall League, for those that don't know. Just a dynasty players playground. Games all day long, every day. Rookies from all the teams in baseball. Playing baseball, you get really up-close access to them. There's not big turnouts for these Arizona Fall League games in terms of crowds, right? So I just love it. And we're going to have a full report. I'll come back and I'll share with Ben and Robbie what we learned, and we'll hopefully do a show on here to give you guys some insights into what I saw while I was in Arizona, which every year I remember. 2021, I saw Nelson Velasquez. I was like, who's that dude? Saw Spencer Horwitz. Like, who's that dude? There's been a lot of guys, right? A lot of guys that have come and gone, and I've patiently wondered, when will they come up? But they stand out. They offer something. You see their talent. You see them make a play. You see their consistency. Heston Kierstad, I saw it in him. I saw Jason Dominguez drop a really easy routine fly ball. So you see it all, good and the bad. And we'll have a report on that. But for now, lock it on your waiver wires. Get the players you want. Make that money. Win at everything. Never lose ever. But if you do lose, make sure you take a valuable lesson from it so you can apply it for the future to prevent further losses.
Go Chargers, go.
Thank you, Arnold. All right, Huck and Chuck at football. Mike Virginia will be back here Sunday morning at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Start Sit Show. I'll be in Arizona. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up here on YouTube. Subscribe, comment. We're interactive all week long. The Discord's totally free. It's in the description. Go, go, go!
Fucking Roethlisberger, the quarterback, was all fucking hug it, chug it, football all night.